Jordan Poole drops 39 points as the Wizards snap a 16-game losing streak and defeat the Denver Nuggets 122-113 in DC. But Jokic did drop 56 points, but it was all for nothing because the Wiz do get the dub. Come on, let's celebrate. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again. Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter, introducing the Locked On Wizards daily newsletter, a one-stop shop for the ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. And start your day with the all-new free Locked On Wizards newsletter. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, everybody. Jordan Poole drops 39 points as the Washington Wizards snap the 16-game losing streak and defeat the Denver Nuggets at home 122-113. Is it time to give him the keys? I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. It is time. I gave him this one challenge. Take over games. Take over a game in a victory. Take over a game in a victory against a really good team. He did that. He took over the game versus the Denver Nuggets. Yes, the Nuggets ruled out two key players, but I ain't worried about all that because, like I said, with a team like this, where culture, we're playing hard, playing to win, where losing fatigue was a factor, where the young guys were kind of on the edge where, they didn't know how to kind of react because, first time in the league, this team definitely reacted, in my opinion. This was a good culture win because take a look. Matter of fact, let's take a look at some stats real quick because they actually did not lead in any category as far as team stats. So this came down to one factor, heart. This was a heart win. This was a culture win. So like I said, guys, if you follow on the screen, we actually didn't lead in many categories, if any at all. I mean, if you look at field goal percentage, we were about even at 48%. We actually outshot them from three-point range, 39% from three-point range compared to their 20%. We definitely they missed a lot of open looks, a lot of good looks, but the defense, our perimeter defense, really, really was solid. Now, both teams kind of struggled from free throw, more so the Denver Nuggets. Jokic, yes, he dropped 56 points, but look, he struggled from the free throw line, and the fan base, the crowd, let him know it, man. So they shot 59% from free throw. This definitely got to improve on that, but not our problem, y'all. I mean, rebound numbers, they out-rebounded us 62-51, including 16 offensive rebounds, out-assisted us. So, I mean, looking at points in the paint, 74 paint points compared to our 52. So, we're going to get into the starting five, but like I said, guys, this was a good culture win because this was a hard win. They won, the Wizards won this game more. And like I said, yeah, Denver was dealing with a couple of injuries. Jamal Murray was out, and Aaron Gordon were both out. And would it be a different game if they were playing? Oh, yeah, I think we all know that. But let's be, look, every team in the league is dealing with injuries. You can't use that excuse. You take the wins where you can get them. And for a team that is 3-18, you take this win. This is against a good team. They're ninth in the West right now, 11-10. I think injuries are a big reason why the Nuggets are ninth at a record of 11-10. I think they're a lot better than that. I think we all agree. But get back to our Wiz kids. This was a good win. And in a lot of it, this is a good team victory, good culture win. But Jordan Poole, I mean, let's take a look at the stats for the starting five. Let's start with Jordan Poole. I mean, 39 points, flirted with a 40-piece, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 12 for 26 from the field, 9 for 20. Yes, he was definitely the hot hand. He was definitely shooting the ball, man. 6 for 7 from the charity strike. He did have 6 turnovers, but look, like I said, we know his play style, very aggressive, scoring-minded guard, but you can't just say scoring-minded because, yes, he dropped 39 points. But to me, the other factor that really has impressed me with Jordan Poole this year, it has been his assist numbers. 8 assists. So he's definitely getting other people involved. And like I said, as you guys know, I put the questions out on X and on YouTube. That was a question I asked JP13. I said, look, you have improved a lot in the offseason, put the work in, become a leader in the locker room. Is it time for you to get the keys from the organization? He says, I believe it is. He says it is. And, he thrives to lead this team. You definitely, if you look at some of the interactions he's had with, the young guys, man, taking Bilal in his wing, how he's conducting himself off the court and on the court, man, I think that you give him the opportunity because he's put in the work. He put in the work this offseason. And he continues. Like I said, the one thing that I challenged him was take over games. If you want to be that guy, you got to take over games. He responded. 39 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. So, I mean, you give him the keys. Bilal Coulibaly, yes, the offense started out really good this season offensively, but defensively, he's that guy. He is a dog on the defensive end, man. Bilal is a straight dog. I mean, if you saw the couple of blocks he had, I mean, look, 3 blocks, 4 steals. Come on now. Bilal is playing star level defense. I mean, he is playing NBA all defensive team defense. I mean, Bilal's there defensively. All we need is his offense to be, to show that offensive breakout on a consistent basis, man. And you have a star in Bilal Coulibaly. It's not even close. I mean, the kid can flat out play offensively. Yes, he's hit a rut. He's definitely hit a wall. But head coach Brian Keefe said, man, look, he has worked with some good players. There's some great players in this league. They all hit those walls. He's definitely hit a wall, and that's something that as a young player, the biggest thing is how do you respond to that? How do you move on from hitting that wall? Do you put the more work in? Do you get down? I think he's a guy who's shown, that he has the work ethic to get out of it. So offensively, we felt like he was going to break out. He's hit a wall. I think he will be okay. I think he'll be just fine, especially after the deadline, man. You're definitely going to see a much improved Bilal as far as offensively. Right now, struggling, but he'll be all right because the defense, man, is the star of the show. All right, so looking at Bilal again, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. So he contributed across the board. Only shooting 2 for 9 for the field, 0 for 3 from 3. But defensively, come on now. 3 blocks, 4 steals. Lord. All right, Justin Champagnie. And we're going to talk about him in a minute because I think he's a keeper. I think he's a guy that you keep around long term. 23 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, shooting 9 for 13 for the field, 2 for 4 from 3, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Justin Champagnie, we say it all the time. They have to fill so much of the salary cap. Marvin Bagley III, you keep him around. Justin Champagnie, you keep him around. You sign him to a deal, get him off that 2-way deal, sign him to a proper NBA contract. It's time. When he's given the minutes, he produces. Whether it's for the Capital City Go-Go, whether it's for the Washington Wizards. He just played for the Go-Go and he played a good game, and then he comes up to the Washington Wizards and drops 23 points, 8 rebounds. So you keep him around. I think he's earned an NBA standard contract. I think he's definitely earned a place on this team long term because, like I said, through this whole situation, being in the rebuild, when called upon, he produces. And you look at the age, he's 23 years old. So, I mean, look at the size, 6'6", 206 pounds. So 23 years old. So he's a guy that you definitely keep around long term, in my opinion. You sign him to an NBA contract, you sign him to a team-friendly deal. And like I said, kind of the same thing with Marvin Bagley. Like I said, we're going to get deeper into Justin Champagnie and Marvin Bagley III and whether they should stick around. But to me, they're keepers. You keep them around long term. All right, so again, Jonas Valanciunas produces when called upon. Look, he's not going to be here past the New Year's, man. I mean, he's going to be scooped up by a playoff team. I mean, he has played good basketball this season. Look, last night, 20 points, 12 rebounds, Lord have mercy, 5 assists, 8 for 15 for the field, 0 for 1 from 3, 4 for 4 from the charity strike, and 5 blocks. 5 blocks. I mean, if Alex Sarr doesn't learn from this guy, then he ain't trying to learn. I mean, he has proven to be that constant pro, the productive pro in the NBA. And Jonas Valanciunas, again, has played high-level basketball. 5 turnovers. Look, yep, it is what it is. I'm not sweating it. We got the dub. Yeah, the turnovers 5, 6 for Poole. But look, they stayed aggressive. Jonas Valanciunas in that mid-range, man. That mid-range is money. I mean, he knows how to hit those mid-range in the paint. He is very savvy in the paint. Him and Jokic went back and forth. Now, obviously, Jokic, you can't really say he put the clamps on him because Jokic dropped 56 points. But I feel like they had kind of a nice little duel going on. Two, a similar centers as far as their body makeup and their games. Both 2 centers who can stretch the floor. Obviously, Jokic is the MVP candidate. He has 1 MVPs. But you can't take away from Jonas Valanciunas and how productive he's been this season. All right, some other people to look at real quick before we move on, guys. Jared Butler, productive. And only 17 minutes played, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. So, again, 5 for 9 for the field, 2 for 4 from 3. He's another guy who, when called upon, produces. Jared Butler is a guy that you definitely keep him in the mix in the rotation because he's a good young talent, and he continues to be productive in the nation's cap. Marvin Bagley, not his best game, 15 points, only 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 for 1 for the field, but did contribute a steal and a block. And continues, again, he's playing really good basketball. Didn't score, but there's other factors, the steal, the block. He shows a lot of energy on the defensive end. Johnny Davis, in only 13 minutes, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 for 4 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, 2 steals, 1 block. he's continued to play really good basketball. And you got to give him his flowers. He looks much improved. So could he have kind of proved himself into a new deal? Maybe. It really depends on the front office and what their vision is. They declined his option, but he has really played good basketball. And Anthony Gill, future coach Anthony Gill, the leader on the bench, man. I mean, 10 minutes, but again, when called upon, like I'm saying, for a lot of these guys, he produces 5 points for 2 for 3 from the field, including 4 rebounds. So he's a guy, a very important piece because he provides much needed leadership on this team. To me, Anthony Gill and Jordan Poole have been those leaders on this team this season. So, all right, we're going to get into Marvin Bagley III and Justin Shimpney. Should they be kept here long term? Yes. I'm going to tell you guys why. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by Mint Mobile. With big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying magically skyrockets. Yeah, I know. With Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about gotchas ever again. With Mint Mobile, says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. They mean it. Side by to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile's here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. That's it. Only $15 a month. All plans come with a high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all existing contracts. It's that easy. Or contacts, that is. My bad. Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. So do yourself a favor, y'all. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. That's mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers can bet on new customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower than 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. All right, everybody, let's get back into this thing. So, Marvin Bagley III and Justin Shimpney. Should they be long-term pieces? Yes, they should. Look, it is no secret what the Wizards are trying to do this year. At the deadline, they're going to move on from a lot of folk. Kyle Kuzma will probably be on a different team. Jonas Valanciunas is probably going to be on a different team before the new year even kicks off. Malcolm Brogdon, he is going to be on a new team if he stays healthy. Look, we all know what it is with the CBA and a lot of the new developments with the salary cap in the NBA. You've got to fulfill so much of your salary cap. You might as well fill it up with players who, in the case of Marvin Bagley III, still young player, but has veteran experience. He's a guy who's a high draft pick and is number 2 overall out of Duke. He's played in Sacktown. He's played in Motown. He has experience in his league. So he fits the mold of a vet. He's been there and done that. I think he could definitely still learn, still develop, but also have something to teach these young guys because he's a guy who's on his third team. So he has some experience to provide. But he's still young and he's a player where, he doesn't have to be a star. He doesn't even have to be a starter. He's a guy who's very versatile, 3-level scorer. He fits the bill of the modern day big. He played a 4, can play the 5. And like I said, he produces when called upon. I think he's a nice young player who has found a home here in the nation's cap. So I think you re-sign Marvin Bagley III in the offseason and you keep him here long term. Justin Shimpney out of the University of Pittsburgh, formerly, along with Bub Carrington. We got a couple of Panthers on the roster. He's a guy that you keep around. He on a 2-way deal, splitting time between the Capital City Go-Go and the Washington Wizards. And I asked Justin Shimpney that question last night. I said, look, you just shine with the Go-Go, came up, played a really good game here with the Wizards. Is that a testament of the Capital City Go-Go? Getting guys ready for when they're called upon, produce high-level basketball. And he said, yeah, absolutely. And I agree with him. I said, look, Capital City Go-Go, continues to keep guys ready. Keep them ready so when they're called upon to play up there with the Washington Wizards, when in the event of injury, illness, and stuff like that, they're able to not only produce, but to produce at a high level. Justin Shimpney, dating back to Summer League, dating back to preseason, he's a guy who has produced when called upon. And I think, just like previous guys we've had on 2-way contracts and Jordan Goodwin, you give him an NBA contract. Same thing with Jared Butler. You give him an NBA contract. So, again, with Justin Shippey, I think it's time that if anybody, you can look at Taylor Funk, but I think that he hasn't performed yet at the NBA level like Justin Shippey has. A lot of potential with Taylor Funk, absolutely. But Justin Shippey, he's proven that he can produce, that he could definitely be an impact player for the Washington Wizards when called upon. So I think that if you look to sign a guy to an NBA standard contract from a two-way contract, Justin Shippey is a guy that you not only sign to an NBA standard contract, he needs to be here long term. I think he's a guy who you need a guy at 6'6" who can play the 2 to play the 3 to be that microwave scorer off the bench. And again, to me, he's earned it. He's played good basketball. So you guys get in the comment section, you let me know what you're thinking, because I do believe that the Washington Wizards should not only keep Marvin Bagley third around long term, but you need to keep Justin Shippey around long term because they both produce when called upon, and that's the type of players you need around. It's kind of like being a pinch hitter in baseball. To sit on the bench all game and then just call, hey, come in and hit that game-winning hit. That's tough to do. And for a guy who goes back and forth from the Capital City Go-Go to the Washington Wizards, and obviously they both have two different schedules. I mean, that can't be easy on a player, man. But he produces. He came up career high, 23 points, man. Career high for Justin Shippey, 8 rebounds. I mean, he was money. Him and Jordan Poole and Jonas Valanciunas were a 3-headed monster. And, we all know that Denver is a really good team in the Western Conference, but it comes down to culture, playing hard, playing to win. And when you see guys like Justin Shippey out there putting together a performance like that with the energy that he provided, you keep him around long term. Because here's the thing, guys, and this is where my head's at real quick. The rebuild doesn't have to take forever. I think that if you already have certain pieces, you kind of conform to those pieces. We have a nice young core in Bilal Coulibaly, Tristan Vukcevic, Bub Carrington, Alex Sarr, and Keyshawn George. You have a nice young core to build upon in the 2025 and 2026 NBA drafts. So you have the opportunity to build a nice young team. But then what are the factors? Yes, eventually you want that big star, right? And that's why not only do earlier draft picks have importance for acquiring young talent, but the later ones. So you want to make that major move. But you do have a young star in the making in Jordan Poole. Yes, there are, everybody tradable. Yeah, absolutely. But to me, you have a guy who hasn't hit his prime yet, who plays at a high level. You have a you can argue homegrown because he was traded here. And, look, he's still developing. I think that a lot of why Jordan Poole is having a great year is that, and he's had his struggles, but overall, he's having a good year. He's having a really good year. And he definitely should be in consideration in the conversation for most improved players. It's not even a question at this point. He should definitely be in the conversation. Yes, his team is 3-18, but look at what he went through last year and look how he's performing this year. He has to be in the conversation. But he is 25 years old. He hasn't in his prime yet. So you keep a guy like that around, in my opinion. You have a guy who can be, he's got veteran, he's a veteran right now. He's a guy who has championship experience. You keep him around. So looking at, keep JP around, in my opinion. You re-sign Justin Shippey and Marvin Bagley third. And obviously you build in these next two drafts, but the rebuild doesn't have to take forever, especially if you're aggressive at the trade deadline. If you pick up another high impact young player, we've talked about a few players. Cam Wilmore, do I see Houston being willing to part ways with him? Who knows? And, money talks, but I see them as hesitant to move him from Houston. Jonathan Kuminga. I talked to somebody last night who's very familiar with the situation in Golden State. He said, look, Jonathan Kuminga is definitely tradable right now. He is tradable. So you add a Jonathan Kuminga to this team, is a defensive team that has a lot of potential with scoring. His scoring has, he went to 16 points a game last year, has dipped a little bit with, going back and forth between the bench and the starting unit this year, but he's a guy who, like Bilal, has shown a lot of potential scoring. That once he reaches that point, you have a couple of 3-and-D guys in your starting lineup with Kuminga and Bilal Coulibaly, and then you with Alex Sarr, the same thing. Those three guys in the same lineup, that's a defensive lineup. That is a very athletic lineup. That is a lineup that can stretch the floor. And I do believe that Bilal, you're going to see, he's going to get better in the second half. Right now, there's a lot going on, a lot of injuries. And, when given him minutes, he has to perform. And he has struggled offensively. But I think he's going to be all right. I think that he will definitely respond. I think he's going to be just fine. Alex Sarr, it's going to take more than 1 year to really get him going offensively. But like I said, with certain moves, this deadline doesn't have to take forever, man. Certain moves, we have to be aggressive at the trade deadline. We have to be aggressive in the offseason. We definitely have to hit in this draft, have to hit in 2026. We have a young core. We got players like Sadiq Bey, Jordan Poole, Corey Kispert, who can fit the mold of being long-term pieces. And I think all of them are improving that. Now, out of those three, Corey Kispert looking like more and more he could be a trade candidate. Sadiq Bey, we don't know yet, but we all know he can play. The brother can flat out play. And Jordan Poole, he is made it known he wants the keys. He wants to be here. So, people say all the time, for guys who want to be part of this organization and lead this organization in the future, he wants to be here. He wants to be a Washington Wizard. He wants to lead his team. He wants to be part of what they're trying to do. I think you have to embrace that. I think he's put the work in on the court and off the court. You have to embrace that. And like I said, we are definitely heading in the right direction. You see it. You see the potential. Once we get past the trade deadline, it's going to be youth movement. You're going to see JP leading this young squad in the second half. And look, when they push the pace, let's see how good they can look, man. Like I said, in the early part of the season, when it was a very young team, they played hard. They played to win. They definitely moved in transition. So like I said, guys, definitely heading in the right direction. We still have ways to go. Don't get it twisted. But look, we're still 3-18. So we're in the mix for the top 3 pick, if not the first overall pick. But wins like this is a good win because it showed heart. It showed them holding to that mantra of playing hard and playing to win. So we're going to get in the comments and chop it up. Like I said, I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to rock with your boy at noon before football hits. Like I said, guys, I wanted to go live. I really wanted to go live, but then I really wanted to get in the press conference and hear Brian Keefe and talk to Jordan Poole. So, I made a hard choice, man. But, man, I was just itching to go live last night from Capital One. But ultimately, I wanted to get in there in the press conference. But so we're going to get in the comments. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to check out the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You can start with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's it. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. All right, everybody. Like I said, definitely appreciate everybody rocking with your boy on, at noon. I really wanted to go live last night, but I really wanted to get in that press conference and talk to Jordan Poole and Brian Keefe and Justin Shimpany, man. Definitely get that content for you guys. So, like I said, I'm definitely gonna go live. I'm going forward, man. From Capital One. So definitely expect, a lot of live recaps from Capital One. And then it's going to be nice where I want to get in there and get in the press conference because unfortunately I have to pick one of the two. Because if I do the live recap, it usually is going to be at the expense of being around the same time as press conference. But definitely want to go live from the arena for you guys. So let's get into the comments. We got some time today, so I'm going to try to knock out everybody's comment. So again, appreciate you guys, man. And Valley kicks everything off. Says Bilal still struggling offensively, but he came up big defensively. Bilal's a dog, man. Bilal is a dog. And I watched him shoot around. He wants, he's putting the shots in. Right now they're just not dropping. He's hit the wall, but he's got the work ethic. He's got the work ethic to get past that. The kid is a worker. He's going to be just fine. He's oozing with potential. Offensively, he wants to get better. He wants to be that guy. But defensively, he's a dog, man. I mean, he's a franchise-defining dog. I mean, this is the guy where you go guard the best player. And he's done a great job. If you look at the players that he's guarded this year, he has an impact. I mean, this guy is a high-level defender. Let's be real. He has all defensive capabilities. I mean, his instincts, his ability on the defensive end. I mean, he has. I'm telling you, he's got all-star defensive level, man. I mean, he is that good on the defensive end. Once he figures it out offensively, you've got a star in Bilal Coulibaly. Biku is a star. I'm telling you right now, defensively, he's got that mentality that not everybody has. He's got that mentality you just don't necessarily teach. That his aggression, his instincts, as far as getting in the passing lanes and stuff like that. So I agree 100% with you. Joshua Cotton says defense was terrific for Bilal. This was the first game I watched in a while. It was actually not disappointing. Yeah, defensively, he's on the money. He's there. All he has to do is really string together consistent offense, man, and he will get there. I'm telling you guys, he's that close to being that guy. Link says, good questions at the press conference. JP definitely needs the keys. Appreciate you. Like I said, I definitely want to get those questions in. Like I said, I was very pleased to hear his answer. If you look at his body language, look, don't get it twisted. Now, he did get MVP chance. And now we know that is far flung. With the NBA with bad teams, it's hard to get players to the All-Star game on bad teams. And I asked Kyle Kuzma this question at Media Day. He feels like in the last couple of years he played at All-Star level, and the detriment to that is bad teams usually don't produce All-Stars. And to me, I believe I don't know if it's football or baseball. I believe it's baseball where every team gets a representative to the All-Star game. I think that the NBA needs to go back to that. I think that if you look at the performances of Jordan Poole, he's playing at the All-Star level. He definitely is in the conversation of most improved player. Bilal Coulibaly, another guy who was in the conversation for most improved player, till he kind of hit that wall offensively. So, I'm one of those people where I think that every team needs representation at the All-Star game. I don't like the whole, it being a popularity contest, and you putting all your favorite players in there. And like I said, if you're gonna get all your favorite players, then make it more worthwhile, because the All-Star game has turned into such a pathetic game where they don't even try. They're going through the motions. Then what's the point? Bring some guys from these bad teams like the Wizards, and they're going to go in there. They're going to play hard. And like I said, we definitely need to get the All-Star game back to them playing for something. And like I said, I think baseball's the model. Baseball, they play for a home field advantage in the playoffs. So I think that they kind of need to take that model like Major League Baseball. Make it to where whoever wins the All-Star game, they get some perks in the playoffs or something. But make it worthwhile. So I'm a firm believer that every team needs representation in the All-Star game. We know it's not going to happen, but it is what it is, as they say. Josh Collins says, you guys think we can sneak another win in? Look, it's going to be getting harder from here, guys. But, if they play hard, who knows? Any given night. Now, nobody here is advocating playoff run. It ain't going to happen. We are going to be probably the worst team in the NBA. But look, what can you ask? What do you want? What are expectations? Progression of young talent and a culture where you play hard, play to win. We all know there's going to be a massive talent gap between the Wizards and most teams, but you want to see them play hard, play to win. You saw that with these young guys last night. That's what you want to see, man. Sammy, how you doing? It says, let's go. I'm with you. I can dig it. My guy, man, No Breaks New. How you doing, man? He was one guy that says, B, you gotta go out there and do that live. I felt so bad. I saw my man No Breaks New. I said, man, I gotta go. Man, I was really between a rock and a hard place, because at that point, man, when I saw my man No Breaks New say something, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to get on here and do something. But appreciate you, man, my brother. He says it's a pool party in my city. Yeah, it's definitely a pool party, man. I'm telling you, Jordan Poole, man, last night he had the crowd rolling, man. Like I said, the crowd, they got behind his team last night. It's good to see. It's really good to see. Yes, the Nuggets had some fans in the building. They cheered here and there, but they were very quiet when Jokic was at the free throw line. I'm just saying. So Jokic wasn't a pretty performance at the free throw line, even though he did drop 56 points. But we all know what it is. He's one of those guys where you're not going to stop him. You can hope to slow him down, but stars in his league are going to get theirs regardless. 56 points, but we got the dub. That's the most important factor here. Sammy says, I'm on the Poole train now. He made me a believer last night. Poole has legit potential. Absolutely. You keep him around. I think he's a building block. I made it known, man, that, like I said, I expect any outcome. I get it. From a business standpoint, we are in a rebuild. If you see a player like Denny get moved, anybody can be moved. But like I said, when you look at the situation in here, I don't think the rebuild doesn't have to take forever. You have, integral pieces here that you can use to build towards the future. Obviously we have a nice young core, 5 players. I believe that Will Dog could hit on all 5. Definitely want to see more from Tristan Vucevic, but like I said, Jordan Poole's a keeper. Sadiq Bey, I think that we know he can play at a high level. Now the biggest thing is coming back from ACL surgery. I think right now it's different than it used to be 10 years ago. ACL surgeries, you can come back and be still somewhat close to the player you were. It depends on certain factors. What your game is built on. If it's speed, we'll see. But he's a guy who can produce. Corey Kispert signed to a really good contract, even though I think a lot of us know that, look, he is very tradable commodity right now. You could see him being moved at some point. But, yeah, man, he has earned this. He's earned it. He's put the work in. He worked his butt off in the offseason. He's really become a voice in the locker room, if not the voice in the locker room. If you see his interactions with these young guys, man, you got to love it. You got to love it. Just watching the guy, like I said, there's certain factors I like because he's embracing the franchise. He's embracing the city. Before the game, man, he went over there, and I'm telling you guys, this man had to sign about 100 kids' autographs. Took time. He went over there, took his time. He's building a really good relationship with the fan base, man. Like I said, a lot more people, you hear a lot more love for him in the crowd as opposed to last year. And you don't hear much noise in the media because obviously he's put the work in. So when the media is quiet, it tells you you're doing something right, to a certain degree, because they'll find any reasons to go after anybody. And like I said, I'm talking to a guy who is, definitely knows something about the Golden State Warriors. And I talked, I had a good conversation when I said, why does he get so much, hate in the media? And the same thing with Russell Westbrook. Saw him last night playing for the Nuggets. One of those guys where great guy off the court and productive. I don't understand why so much hate, because he put the work in. I think he's deserved his moment. Groovy Entertainment says, what's up, man? How you doing? This is my man Brandon asking the questions that need answers. Appreciate you, man. Like I said, I definitely I'm very proud of having credentials, man, because it gives us the opportunity to get in there and really know what's going on within the organization. So, like I said, I appreciate you guys with the love. Appreciate you guys, man. Definitely want to get in there, ask those hard questions, get those much needed answers, man. But like I said, it's for you guys, man. Like I said, definitely us as a fan base, man, we need a seat at the table. And like I said, I definitely pride myself on getting there and getting that good content for you guys. So I definitely appreciate that. I really, really do. Gideon says, this is the happiest I've been as a Wizards fan. Let's go, Jokic. Drops almost 60 and we win. Yeah, I mean, you can't get mad when Jokic drops almost a 60 piece and we still win the game. So, and Sammy brings up a good point. Wizards were without key players. We didn't have Keyshawn George, Corey Kispert, Alex Sarr, Kyle Kuzma. Come on now. I mean, you got to give flowers what it's due. They were without a good portion of the team, and they were able to pull out a win. And yes, the Nuggets were dealing with injuries too. Let's be real. We don't want to take that away. They were dealing with injuries, but we were dealing with a lot more injuries. And we know what the situation is here in DC. It's rebuild. So they played hard. They played to win this game, and they got a much needed win. Bay Area Man 12 says, what a terrific culture win. Absolutely. No breaks new. My guys says Johnny continues to look good. Absolutely. Justin Champagne has earned some minutes going forward. I can't wait till we get the vets off the team. Let the Wiz kids cook. No breaks. Got you. I agree 100%. Let the young kids cook. Give Jordan Poole the keys. Make Bilal Coulibaly the number 2, and let the young guys cook, man. And like I said, we have to hit at the deadline. I think you need to bring in a young player, a young prospect at the deadline. A Kuminga, some young player. You bring in a high impact young player, and you definitely hit in next year's draft, if not the next 2 drafts, and we're headed in the right direction. The rebuild does not have to take forever, man. I'm trying to tell you guys, man. Big J, my guy, says salute to you, my guy. How you doing? Johnny Evans says, disappointed in Bagley last night. He did nothing, shaking my head. Yeah, off game, man. But defensively, he showed a lot of energy, man. He's a guy who, the biggest thing the biggest knock against him has always been a low motor. I don't see that with him in DC. I think he wants to be here. People like what they're doing here, man. And like saying, I get it. We're not good. As of late, we've been getting blown out. We're 3-18, but it's all about the journey. I say it all the time. It's all about the journey. This is what I say all the time to people. Is about the journey, man. Let's see. All right, guys, we're getting up to the 33-minute mark. So I'm going to try to knock out about 5 more comments. I hate to miss anybody's comments, man. I really hate to do that, man. Hotline Bling is a good song. Says all this losing just to get the 3rd pick. Come on now. Come on. Good thoughts, man. We got speaking in existence. First overall. I feel you. But with this draft, 3rd ain't bad. You want number 1 overall, but I think you hit pay dirt in the top 3 period, because Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper are still franchise altering talents, man. So let's see. Johnny Evans says keep Poole. I wish we could keep Jonas, but he's gone in the trade. Hopefully we get it. I believe a 1st round pick for him and Kuz. You could see them sneak in a 1st round pick for JV. A lot of deals I'm looking at are saying a couple of 2nd round picks. And here's the thing: a lot of these 2nd round picks that we possess, because it feels like we have most of the 2nd round picks in the league, right? We can definitely package them together and definitely make some moves, man. So, like I said, definitely give Woodawkins the opportunity to cook, man, because a lot of capabilities with what he's trying to do with the draft pick situation. State of the Wizards. Real quick, guys, if you do not follow State of the Wizards, those are my homies, man. Those are my guys, man. High level content, man. Go ahead, holler at them, man. I'm telling you, man, they're doing their thing, man. So definitely recommend the State of the Wizards podcast. Maybe a little biased because they're my homeboys, man. But not, man. Seriously, good content, good Wizards content, man. They keep it 100 with you, man. So look, if you go there trying to hear what you want to hear, they ain't gonna know they keep it 100, man. So I can't recommend them enough. They say Wizard says give Poole the keys also means constant game to game leadership, even the losses. Absolutely. Love Poole in that leadership capacity last night. Good job covering B. Scott. Appreciate you, brother. Likewise, man. Look, always love watching y'all's content, man. Like I said, those are my guys, man. So, like I said, guys, just like I said, I pride myself getting in there and get those hard answers and those hard questions in. So, yeah, you give Jordan Poole the keys. I think it's time to give him the keys. He wants the keys. And look, it all lines up. He wants to be the guy. Give him the keys. Give him the keys. All right, let's see, guys. Like I said, we're at 35, so I'm gonna try to do about 3 more comments and call it a day because we will be going live again at 9:30 tonight, following today's Memphis Grizzlies matchup. So definitely tune in for that, man. Man, y'all getting spoiled, man. Y'all got 2 lives at the day, man. But hey, man, I wanted to get this definitely go over this game with you guys. So Leroy Smith, man, we have a Debbie Downer today. He says, y'all still trash, no shame, though. I mean, I don't even think that's an insult because we know what the situation here, man. It's like, okay. I mean, okay, we know what it is. But I get thanks for watching, I guess. Let's see. I'm gonna do a few more. Sammy, yep. Bilal has monster blocks. Man, Bilal's a monster, man. I mean, he's defensive prowess, man. He is a high level defender. There's a reason why he is considered around in the league one of the best young talents in the league. There's a reason for that because he is. The kid has star potential. All right, guys, we're gonna do one more. And like I said, I definitely hate to miss anybody's comment. I appreciate you guys just taking time out of your day, to rock with your boy here because I know football about to start in about 30 minutes. So definitely appreciate you guys, man. So we're gonna do one more. Red Wings, or we're gonna do 2 more. Red Wings 01, how you doing today? It says just land a top 2 pick next year, and then we can start to build something. Kuzma, Valanciunas, and Brogdon should also be prime trade pieces. Oh yeah, get as many picks and young prospects as possible. I agree 100%. I think you add a young player this year's trade deadline. You add a player or 2 in the draft, and we are definitely very, very close to being a very young and dangerous team in the Eastern Conference. And this is going to be the last one rolling out. The Son of God says all Sar needs is some size and strength, and that would help him out a ton. People are already writing a Rook off. Yeah, don't write him off. Alex Sar is going to be a good player. He's going to be man. He's got massive potential. Give him some time. Yeah, he needs he needs to hit the weight room and definitely needs to learn the intricacies of being a center. Playing with his back to the basket. Learning counter moves, post moves. Look, if you got that shot in the perimeter, you take that shot. But we definitely had, 7-1. You got to be a lot more active in the paint. Don't rely just being on a perimeter guy. I'm with you, but Sar is going to be all right. Sar is going to be just fine. So, all right, guys, like I said, we will also be going live after the Grizzlies game today at 7:00. So definitely tune in for that to see if we can try to get a dub. Like I said, John Morant and them ain't playing. But let's see if we can get a dub real quick. So, let's see, guys. We're gonna get into a quick preview for tonight's game. Real quick, look at some numbers because again, John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies are heading into Capital One at 7:00. So again, 7:00. So definitely tune in for that. So I'm pulling up right now. Let's look at some stats real quick. So, stats, points per game. The Memphis Grizzlies are the number 2 scoring team in the NBA. So again, defense needs to be the name of the game. Like last night, we've got to be on our P's and Q's, not only interior defense, perimeter defense, transition defense, everything defense, right? The closeouts, we've got to get out there and close out the shooters. We've got to make our switches faster. And if we do that, we will have a chance. Points against, we are the 29th worst team on defense. So last night, great culture win, especially with defense. Keep that energy going. Definitely with, Bilal leading the way. Jordan Poole, much improved defensive player, leading the way. The Grizzlies are 17th. They're giving up 113.5 points per game. We're around 7, middle of the pack when it comes to defense. So this is a team where we can capitalize as far as, especially we shoot and execute high percentage shots. All right, another stat to look at. Well, the 3 next stats kind of tell you where they're at as far as efficiency. Field goal percentage are 3rd in the NBA. Rebounds are 3rd in the NBA. They are 3rd in assists, and first in blocks. We are 7th. So to tell you, I mean, looking at those stats real quick, field goal percentage, they shoot a lot of high percentage shots. Looking at Ja, yes, he has moments where he's very ISO heavy, but look, they have good ball movement. They're third in his field goal percentage, so it tells me that they execute good looks, good high percentage looks. Rebounds, we're 23rd, they're third, so they're averaging around 47 rebounds per game. So we've got to win the battle of the paint, win the rebounding battle, or at least we've got to be very active in rebounding, especially offensive rebounds. We've got to extend possessions. Assists, again, 30 assists a game. So there are teams that they pass the ball around. They play team basketball. The ball moving is fluid. We've got to get active in passing lanes. And blocks per game, they are first with 6.9 blocks. Was rounded up. 7 blocks per game compared to our 5.7. We're 7th, they're first. So we're both teams who are definitely in the conversation when it comes to blocks. So you're going to see a big defensive battle with this game. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and roll out. And like I said, we're going live tonight at 9:30 or following the Grizzlies and Wizards matchup tonight. So definitely tune in for that. So again, guys, definitely appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to roll with me. I know for you football fans, football is right around the corner, but definitely wanted to get this content out and chop it up with you guys to celebrate last night's victory versus the Denver Nuggets. So, all right, guys, I will see you guys again at 9:30. You guys watch some football, get some good food in, man. Definitely enjoy your Sunday, and we'll chop it up again at 9:30 tonight. All right, everybody. I'll see everybody again at 9:30. You got everybody enjoy your day. See you in a little bit. Hail to the Wizards, and peace.